Hey everyone, this is Kilimanjaro, Kestrel. So, earlier this year, when the free question and answer site Quora stopped letting people use aliases or nicknames or fantasy names that they would think up themselves, I had to switch to a common name of Nathan Smith, but I do specialize in ecology, evolutionary history. It's been a passion of mine since I was very young. Is making and posting short videos of ecological and paleontological questions that I get asked on Quora from time to time. Those are my favorite to answer and to talk about. How does the flight of bats differ from that of birds? So this was a question that I woke up one morning in early August this year to find had been asked, and I really liked it. I'm a huge bird nerd, particularly prehistoric birds, and I spent a great deal of the morning finding a picture of a bat wing and a bird wing, of the internal anatomy, and structuring the answer of this question. I used to be able to answer questions under the name Kilimanjaro or Kestrel. That was before Quora forced its users to no longer use aliases, which I have suspicions as to the not good reasons why they did that. But let's get into the question and answer. It's in the structure of the wings. So here's the image I found of the layout of the bones that support a bat's wing side by side with a bird's wing. You'll notice that the bat's wing bones look very much like an elongated mammalian hand, and the bird's wing bones look entirely like fused arm and hand bones of a theropod dinosaur. That entirely reveals their ancestry right there. Now, powered flight has evolved 3 independent times in vertebrate evolutionary history. The first was in pterosaurs, which are a whole other story. The second was in avian dinosaurs, whose lineage gave rise to the birds, and the third was in bats. I could talk about pterosaurs, but as this question was only about bats versus birds, I'll just read the answer I gave as Nathan Smith, though I do still use my Kestrel pick. In birds, the arm bones remain relatively long, while the hand bones, 3 fingers which were separate and with sharp claws back when they were predatory dinosaurs, fused in the lineage that took flight as birds, and the wings are supported by the entire arms. In bats, the actual arm bones are very small and short, and what is really supporting the skin membrane that makes up the wings are the bat's hand and finger bones. So when they fly, birds are flapping their arms, while bats are flapping mostly just their hands. And if you read Benjamin Tweedy's answer below mine on Quora, it is a good expansion on this. He is correct about birds' wings typically being more resilient than those of bats. Although further on, when he talks about birds being less darting around in flight than bats, it really depends on the species. A great many birds are extremely agile in the air, and the main reason why bats have not displaced birds is, well, it's 2 little parts. Birds are stronger and more resilient flyers in many ways, and because by the time bats evolved flight, birds had already filled almost all of the aerial ecological niches, with only the nocturnal roles still being somewhat open. So that was the first question I chose to make a video of on YouTube answering. Keep the ecological and paleontological questions coming, everyone. It's my favorite topic.